Some inmates at Rimutaka Prison are still being locked in their cells for up to 23 hours a day, despite assurances from corrections that it's resolved staffing issues.
Families say their loved one's mental health is suffering due to the long stretches in lockdown and denied visits. Demelza Leslie has the story.
Stephanie's partner has been on remand at Rimutaka since early January. He's lucky to get an hour a day out of his cell.
It's crazy. You can't lock these guys up like animals and expect reform to happen. These are people's lives we're dealing with, and you want them to respect you, but you're not even respecting them.
She says he's suffering the effects of childhood trauma, like a number of other inmates.
He's got real bad night terrors, and so being confined to a cell for like 28 hours he's just stuck inside his own head.
Limited family visits to the prison resumed in March after being stopped for several years due to COVID and staffing shortages, but only on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and only approved visitors. Newshub has spoken to 2 lawyers with clients at Rimutaka, and they say it's nearly impossible to talk to their clients on the phone because they never know when they'll be let out of their cells, and the lawyers might be tied up in court. Video calls are also difficult to arrange.
We also had one video call booked that we waited 3 months for, and I logged on and then staff didn't turn up.
Criminologist and prison counsellor Roger Brooking says it's been 3 years since he's been able to do any in-person interviews.
And I have to ask some quite personal questions, including, questions about sexual abuse when they were children. Well, imagine trying to do that when you're not actually in the room.
Brooking says many prisoners have PTSD or brain injuries.
Imagine the impact of isolation on somebody with those kinds of issues going on. If they weren't crazy before they got in there, they're sure as hell going to be pretty crazy by the time they get out.
In a statement, Corrections says staffing levels are steadily increasing and all prisoners at Rimutaka are receiving their minimum entitlements of at least 1 hour per day out of their cell. But despite its recruitment drive, it still has 426 vacancies for prison staff. It's understood more than 50 of these are at Rimutaka, leaving inmates and their families no better off. Demelza Leslie, Newshub.